ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive.
It is Wednesday, May 13th. Back in studio for today's edition of The Drive here at ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Thanks for being a part of today's show. Good to see some of you yesterday. We get a chance to see a few folks came out to support the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. That's where I was at yesterday. Had a chance to interview Darryl Strawberry. If you weren't with us yesterday, we've got that posted now on our podcast. But that was a fun event last night. I was very fortunate to be a part of that, hear Darryl speak. Talked about a lot of problems in his life and how he got it turned around. So very, very powerful message from him. I have a newfound respect for him. Very impressed with him. So he was a good speaker. That was a great event. So if you haven't been involved with FCA and you really like what they're doing, now is a good time to get involved with them. And hopefully, throughout the next few months and years, we're going to be doing more with them. So I want to thank everyone that had me yesterday. We did the show out there. I was also part of the dinner. Especially I want to thank Tri-State FCA Area Director Eric Brooks for having me and letting me be a part of the event. So had a great time, get to see some of you. I know if you were looking for an autograph, I think a couple of you actually got in, and Darryl was pretty cool about signing stuff. He wasn't really big time in anybody. I didn't see any of that. So that was a fun event, but we got a lot to get into today, and we're going to do that with our text line at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So today is Wednesday. Usually when we have a Wednesday, we bring in usually, that's the word here, Ryan Crisp. Now, Ryan, of course, has a lot of things going on. And so today I'm asking Ryan, hey, who's coming on the show? We got Emily Suter coming on today, Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. Emily is just full of fun, so I'm looking forward to talking to her in the next few minutes. Also, we're going to hear a little bit more from softball. Softball is on its way to North Carolina. I don't know how far the herd has gotten down the West Virginia Turnpike, a road that so many of us are familiar with, but the herd getting sent to play in the NCAA tournament. Marshall will face off, hopefully, against everyone. I like to see the herd win in advance. You got Duke in this tournament. You've got, honestly, teams that I think the herd can beat. Howard, I think, is beatable. And I'm not trying to disrespect any of these teams, but Arizona is good. Finished tied second in the Big 12 this season. I think Marshall can play. I think Marshall can play with Duke. Finished second in the ACC. Howard finished 18-3 in the MEAC, 28-17 this season. So these are good teams. So when I think Marshall can compete with them, it's because Marshall has been able to face off against big-time opponents, or at least name opponents throughout the season. That's how Marshall got here. It's because of the strength of schedule, the RPI, the ability to compete with some of those name teams. And Paige Maynard, when we talked to her, said that the team plays better, believe it or not, against those bigger teams.
I think, too, something like we do better when we are playing against those teams, honestly. Like, for example, looking at Pitt, like we did a really great job handling them, as well as Iowa early in the season, and we had some really close games with Florida and Florida State. Like, those games were really good. They showed how competitive we are, and I think when we play against those teams, we just play free because there's really no expectation. We're the underdog, and I think when we're the underdog, we do better. So I'm really excited to see how this weekend goes.
Yeah, the Herd will be the underdog in this tournament. Thundering Herd's been here before. It's been a while since the Thundering Herd has been at this point, not this collection of players, but the head coach, Morgan Zirkle, has been here before. She's been at this point and at this level, and she was asked when we had a chance to talk to her just what her message was going to be to the team?
I mean, yeah, it's going to be loud. It's going to be fun. But, I'm happy we're going to Duke. I think we're going to have a lot of fans show up. I think our pass list is already looking full, and I hope more decide to buy tickets and come. It's going to be fun to see a sea of green out there, and Arizona's a lot farther. So I hope the herd really is rowdy and that it looks like a home game for us.
I hope so as well. A lot of Kelly green. You have that Arizona color palette that's going to clash with the herd. Duke, the Blue Devils, might be complementary. The blue and the green. I used to be in art. I dabble with it a little bit. I'm not sure if some of you would agree that the blue and the green would be complementary. The Duke color of blue would be complementary to the green. But let's hope that there is a sea of green. So we're going to hear more from softball later. Abby Darnley is going to be part of what you hear today. Paige Maynard, we've got more from her. And, of course, we've got you. And, again, that text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So the Thundering Herd on its way to Durham, North Carolina, hopefully getting a great scenic view today, heading down the turnpike to get ready for this one. We've got baseball action coming up tonight. 6:15 is going to be our airtime as the Pirates will continue on against the Rockies. Pirates win that one 3-1 yesterday. Other baseball action, the Reds fell to the Nationals 10-4. Game 2 of that series coming up tonight. That's at 6:40 in Cincinnati. And, of course, NBA playoff action coming up tonight. Game 5. 7:30 airtime on our sister station, Cat Sports 93.3 and 1340. Your Cleveland Cavaliers taking on the Detroit Pistons. That series is all tied up at 2 games apiece. There are a few other things I want to get into. The first thing I want to get into briefly, because we're going to try to have her on the show next week. We're going to work our schedule around former Marshall women's volleyball head coach Ari Agnes. I didn't have a chance to really talk about that yesterday. Back in coaching. She has been hired as the new girls volleyball coach at Fairland High School. So I talked to Ari briefly after that came out. She said she'd love to come back on the show, so we're going to talk to her next week, kind of find out what this means for her, why this time to come back and start coaching again. And the other thing that we're going to be talking about probably for the next few months is the NFL schedule is going to be coming out, and we've already got the international games. And the one that I don't know if I'm excited about this or not, Cincinnati Bengals are going to face off against the Atlanta Falcons. It's going to be in Madrid, Spain. And it's set for November 8th, 9:30 a.m. 9:30 in the morning. Who's excited for 9:30 a.m. football on a Sunday morning? Who is? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. I don't know if I like these international games, and I get why we're doing them. If you're the NFL, hey, look, we're trying to grow the game. We're trying to take the game out to different countries. We're trying to build fans. We're trying to reward fans that are from international markets. It's a great way to kind of showcase America's brand of football, and there are several locations, including the Bengals taking on the Falcons in Madrid. Does this, though, rob fans in Atlanta the opportunity? Because this was going to be Atlanta's game, I believe. This was Atlanta's home game, and it's now going to be in Madrid instead of in Atlanta. So the Bengals will travel. The Falcons will travel. Will Bengals fans, will Falcons fans travel a little bit? Maybe use this as a tourist destination, opportunity, vacation? Or are we hoping that it's a packed house in Spain and that the Bengals and the Falcons will introduce more people in Spain to the wonderful, wonderful sport of American football? To be decided. So I don't know if I'm excited about that. Of course, again, it's going to be 3:30 in Madrid, so they're getting it at a normal time for them. We're getting it at 9:30 in the morning. I know. Just wake up early, get the caffeine rolling. You'll be fine. We're going to turn our attention to Marshall University's Emily Suter when we continue on this edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Hurt at work? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue, across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-678-9.
Summer starts here. It's Moses Auto Mall of Huntington 9th Street Live every Friday night in Huntington. Presented by Michelob Ultra, White Claw, Big Timber, and Country Boy Brewing. Friday, May 22nd, it's Blinko Glass Company Night with Jocelyn and the Sweet Compression on the Marshall OBGYN stage. The Little Caesars Kids Zone is back, and Gomart Happy Hour starts at 5. Enjoy 9th Street libations from the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe, Sip Downtown Brasserie, and Summit Beer Station, featuring Tito's, Milagro Tequila, Rebel Bourbon, High Noon, and Lucky One. The after-show party takes place at Jerk Riley's at Pullman Square. Mark your calendar for June 19th when 9th Street is dead with Grateful Dead tunes from John Ingram's Dead Center. July 10th, enjoy the music of the Beatles with the Newbies. The Thundering Herd Rally is Friday, August 14th. Sponsored by Wendy's, Huntington Beverage Center, Sods, Apex Tech, The Great Outdoors Marine, Village Caregiving, Thoroughbred Express Wash, the City of Huntington, Marshall University, Blinko Glass Company, Marshall Health Network Arena, and Kendrick Communications.
Save big money in your next project when you shop at Menards. Pittsburgh's Ultra Advanced Semi-Transparent Exterior Stain and Sealant in One can be applied to damp wood, allowing you to clean the surface and stain in one day. Save big on Ultra Advanced Wood Stain today. View our entire selection of stains and accessories on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer to find all the great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards.
I'm with Chris from Christopher's Eats, and Chris, you guys just made life a lot easier.
That's right. We now have online ordering and delivery.
So I can get your famous seared tuna, flatbreads, or burgers delivered right to my house, or I can pick it up on my way home from work.
You bet. Just order online at christopherseats.com or Facebook, and we'll take care of the rest for you.
Man, that's dangerous. I might never cook again. Locally owned, made from scratch food, now just a click away at christopherseats.com on Facebook or Route 60 Huntington.
Big news, Cabell County. King's Tire Service is now open on Route 60 in Ona, across from Cabell Midland. For more than 55 years, we've been serving West Virginia with automotive excellence you can trust. We do more than just sell tires. Our ASE certified technicians are ready to handle all your repairs. From your daily driver to the heavy-duty demands on the job, our philosophy at King's is simple. We never promise more than we can deliver, and we always give you more than you expect. Stop by our brand new Ona location today, or visit us at kingtireservice.com.
Have you had your septic tank serviced lately? For a free-flowing system, it's vital to get your septic tank serviced every 3 to 5 years. Call One Way Septic today. Get hold of Chuck, 304-429-5218, or online at onewayseptic.com. One Way Septic offers septic services in West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio, both residential and commercial services. Septic tank pumping, old system repairs, grease trap cleaning. It's got to be One Way Septic. Phone 304-429-5218. Online at onewayseptic.com.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue with this Wednesday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. As we alluded to earlier, it's usually Ryan Crisp Day around here, but sometimes we have to go the extra mile. I sent Ryan a text yesterday when I was at the FCA event and said, hey, look, you got your work cut out for you. I have Darryl Strawberry coming on the show today. I don't know how you top that tomorrow. Then Emily Suter said, bet, I'll top that. And she joins us now, the Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. You'll face any challenge, won't you, Emily?
You know, that's the herd way, right?
Absolutely. You know, you should coach all the teams as well. I don't know what your record would be, but I'm sure this would be a tough team.
Yeah, I coached a kindergarten, first grade basketball team, and we have the most guts in the league. So,
what was the win-loss record on that?
It's fun to fun. We don't really keep score. Just go out there and do our best.
I love that. It's fun to fun. That's how I'm going to live life from now on. It's not about wins and losses. It's about fun to fun.
Yeah, fun to fun.
Emily is with us, and again, go ahead, Emily. I'm sorry. How dare I?
But internally, you know what the score is.
Yeah, that is fair.
The kids don't care, but I care.
Yeah, I do know what the score is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
we're keeping up. Yeah.
Yeah, we know who's in charge. Emily Suter, Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. We have a good time with Emily when she's always with us, so I'm always excited when she gets to come back and talk to us. Yesterday was crazy. I know that a lot of things were going on. We had softball, having the fan day, and now the Herd's on the road. And that's a great segue into why they're on the road. They're going to the NCAA tournament in Durham. And I'm hoping that a lot of Herd fans that have found a way to travel got their rooms on herdhotels.com. You like how I segued into that?
I did. I didn't know where it was going, but it found its way.
How's that worked out so far? How many Herd fans have really responded to that, taken advantage of that? And, of course, it's not just a one-time thing. You can use it year-round.
Right, and even internationally, I used it just to see how it all worked out. Anytime we do something, we want to know how it works on the customer's end. So I took part and was a customer. I actually just got back from Greece yesterday, and I used it in Venice and Athens, Greece. So it works not only just where the Herd goes, but wherever you need to go. If you book through Herd Hotels, it benefits the Herd. So we're still raising awareness, still trying to spread the word and let people know that it is an option. We had a lot of parents who are traveling on the road just to watch our contest, and they've been booking through, so just getting the word out there. But it's an easy process to book on herdhotels.com, easy website to find.
The name says it all, herdhotels.com. Now, and again, this is a portal which allows Herd fans to search for hotel deals, and there's always going to be a kickback, a commission to Marshall, because instead of going through maybe a different portal, you're getting the same service, but this is specialized. This is a portal that now, instead of maybe a third party, a broker getting the commission, obviously Herd Hotels, the money will go back to the provider and Marshall as well. So everybody gets a percentage of this that helps keep the website going, get those deals, and at the same time help fund Thundering Herd Athletics.
Absolutely. That's it. Bottom line. And it's all hotels that we trust and the website providers trust. It's not going to send you to some scary hotel anywhere. You get good customer service and you help the Herd doing it. So it's a win-win-win.
Okay, so herdhotels.com, and the feedback's been pretty good so far from a lot of Herd fans, just getting the word out and letting people know that you can book your rooms, book your travel through Herd Hotels. I could even, if I wanted to, if I had Emily Suter money, I could book a trip to Madrid, Spain to see the Bengals and the Falcons this year if I wanted to, right?
Never say never, Paul. The options are endless.
Again, I need Emily Suter money before I can do that, but just keep that in mind. You can book those vacations, and there's always something different as well. This isn't a static website. It works like most travel websites. There's always going to be something maybe special, a promotion. Is that fair? Is that the proper understanding of this?
Yeah, it's ever changing, just like everything. We see what works, what doesn't work, and we'll go from there. There'll be things all the time to keep an eye out for, and with the summer coming up and vacations right around the corner, if you book through Herd Hotels, you can help us have a good trip, all the things. So
Emily Suter's with us, Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experiences. Something that's coming up soon that I'm really excited about is we're going to see Marshall, Jack Cookfield, play host to the WVSSAC baseball tournament. Now, I will say this, on the radio side, we're going to carry all those games. So we're going to have all those games right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. On the flip side, though, is if you want to go to the tournament, I didn't know you were doing this until today. You've got those suites that are available, and you're going to be able to rent those out as well if you want to go and take advantage of some of that space. How's that going to work, and what do Herd fans need to know?
Yeah, so we actually just had a meeting today with the WVSSAC and our staff, and just walked around, made sure we were good on everything, had everything buttoned up and T's crossed and I's dotted, and it'll be a great tournament to have, and we're happy to host, and they're a great partner. We are going to have some hospitality areas available per session. So each day there'll be 2 sessions, 2 games each until the championship Saturday. And then there's each 1 game per session. And then the president's suite, the AD suite, we have a few auxiliary suites where the windows open, and the dugout club pavilion over by the third base as an option. So all the families that are coming to support the players or businesses that want to host during the tournament, there's an option for everybody, really. Capacities range from 20 people to you can fit 40 people in the dugout club pavilion. So really something for everybody's needs. We're actually going to roll out a interest form just because we don't know who's playing in the tournament quite yet. It could be a local team. It could be a faraway team. You don't know quite yet because they're still playing. But just going to shoot out the interest form. If people are interested, put your school's name in there. And then once we have a bracket, then we'll start contacting people that fill out the form.
So would there be a priority based on school, or is it, hey, if you want these, you better get them now?
Yeah, so it's going to be kind of a first come, first serve. If you fill out the form, then we'll go through the list of filled out and space-wise. So there's an option of which space do you actually want, what's the capacity that you are actually going to want. And then that way we'll just go through the list and start filling up the schedule. And if you want it, it's going to be hard, but we might have to get you locked in for every day. Like, you don't know if your team wins on the first day, if they're going to play the second day, but we're going to fill up the schedule regardless. So just see if bid on your team.
Emily Suter's with us, the Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. So if you want to find out more about that, there will be some paperwork and some interest forms going out soon. And again, that's kind of a unique situation. More and more now in high school athletics, you have actually these spaces where you have these opportunities. And this isn't the only time you could rent this space, right? You're still working on new ways to take advantage of these spaces. This is just one of a million ways possibly to use this space. What are some other ways that maybe Herd fans can take advantage of these spaces or more?
Yeah, so we are actually opening up our facilities year-round now. This isn't the only baseball game we'll host. We just had one over Spring Valley's summer camp or spring break. They had a tournament there as well. So we're opening up not only our facilities for games and practices, but also to have events. We had a board meeting in the baseball club area the other day and just set up a long table in the middle of the room, and you could watch the team practice while you had PowerPoints on the slides and everything like that. And then the Chamber of Commerce, they had their board of directors meeting yesterday in the deck. And so all these spaces are open, not just for board meetings, obviously, but we had baby showers, birthday parties, graduation parties, in the deck this last month. We've been busy with some rentals, but it's all good to get people in the facility, and it's a good use of our space, and it's an awesome venue. like, who else can say that they had a party in the deck and got to walk onto the field and take pictures in front of the jumbotron that says congratulations and stuff like that. So it's cool, and we're working together with our facilities staff and marketing team to really make it a great experience for everybody and customize it to what you need.
Yeah, and Emily Suter's with us. She's not just talking about baseball. We're talking about the Dutch Miller deck as well. Those are popular rentals, it seems, and you can come up with many creative ways. When you rent these spaces, are there options for, hey, check here if you want football coach, check here if you want basketball coach, or do those guys just show up? Do the coaches, just randomly, hey, let's go visit who our guests are today? Is that what you're seeing more and more with these events?
I will say, I mean, the Dutch Miller deck is right there in the football, hallway. So we've had a few coaches pop in just to see what's going on. And then the people having the event are like, come here, get a plate. And then there's some mingling in there as well. Nothing ever scheduled, depending. But never say never. You never know who's going to walk the halls of the Shuey building or walk around the Cam Henderson Center. There's always recruits and people in and out of the building, so our coaches stay busy walking around.
Our guest is Emily Suter, Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. Another item that we want to talk about today, a season ticket renewal deadline. Let's get everyone caught up on that so they know what they need to know and when it's going to happen.
Yes, this Friday, May 15th, is the deadline to renew for football parking, football seats, all the chairback rentals and everything like that. So if you haven't renewed your tickets yet or your parking, if you have any changes you want with either one, just call the ticket office, call me, and we'll get it all squared away. So we've had a lot of people renew within this last week. Still some accounts out there. They're waiting for something good, I guess, but Friday's the deadline.
Now, once the deadline passes, whatever's available, that opens up, and then when can other people who maybe are on the waiting list, or can they just call and inquire? How will that process work out if you have some openings?
Yeah, so Friday's the deadline, and then we're going to work through this next 2 weeks, just clearing accounts, making sure that what needs to be changed gets the first priority and things like that. So if you have any changes that you need, call us. Don't wait, because we're going to go through that list before we open it up as well. So don't wait to renew. Don't wait to make changes. Friday is the deadline.
Emily is our guest, Emily Suter, the Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. All right. You've been pretty busy. Let's go ahead and just give you your flowers now, because Marshall gets in to the softball tournament. So Coach Z and the squad, they have been working hard to get ready. They're on the road now, probably still on the turnpike, maybe not. Depends on what traffic looks like. But a lot of work over the last few days. Yesterday was on short notice. It was a fan day. And before we continue with the next item, how did that go? I was at a different event yesterday. You were at Fan Day with a lot of support staff. How did that go? That was pretty impromptu. You had a day or two notice?
Yeah, we turned that around pretty quick. Our marketing staff was on it. It was a great night. Beautiful weather. A lot of people came out, got their autographs, took some pictures, played cornhole, kickball, all the things. So it was just great to see the community come out for the team, and they've worked so hard all season, and it's great that they get the opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament. And we actually did their send-off this afternoon, 1:30. They got on the bus. They had a police escort, so they should be making it down to Durham here shortly. But it's great, the community support, and I think that just goes to show how much Morgan and all the players are out in the community, because the community pours into them because our players pour into the community. A lot of youth teams came, and just people who have been following for years. So it's a special time to be a part of, for sure.
Just how cool is that? You go to these events, and some of the players that are on the squad now were coming to these events, and I've seen the photos on social of the slightly younger Coach Z and a few slightly younger, smaller softball players that are now on the squad. Just how cool is that when you get to see all of that? Because you don't know when you look at these events. You look at all these young ladies that are lining up to see their current favorite player. In a few years, will they be in a Herd jersey? That's pretty cool to me.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's like something super special about Marshall and Marshall Athletics is we recruit local, we support the community, and there's going to be pictures that pop up forever about that. And it just means a little bit more here, just how much our community shows up for us. And our baseball team was just at a school the other day before state testing and just getting the students hyped up. Volleyball, football, they all showed up as well. So just all these community service initiatives that really come full circle when when the kids get to come watch a player that they meet, in their uniform on the field, and it just really connects everybody.
Our guest, Emily Suter, Director of Premium Seating and Donor Experience. So that leads into what's happening. Softball is going to be in action starting off the tournament 2:30 on Friday. There's going to be a watch party at Doe Daddy's. So this is going to be a great opportunity for Herd fans to kind of get together. What all will happen there other than, hey, let's go to Doe Daddy's and watch the game? What do you got planned for the fans?
Yeah, you never know who's going to pop up, what's going to happen, but we'll have our pom-poms, we'll have posters and all the things like that, and just being around other Marshall fans that will show up. I spoke to a few people at their going away party, or I don't know, their send-off, and just I know people who aren't able to make the trip that will be at the GoDaddy's watch party. So it'll be special, and we'll watch the Herd win and eat some good pizza.
Any admission, anything else Herd fans need to know, or just show up with an appetite and watch the game?
Exactly. Cheer loud. Everybody's on their own tab. No entry fee to get in. There's an arcade, so bring your coins, but nothing extra than that.
I haven't seen that arcade in a while. How cool is it now? I mean, what they got in there,
I do know. You'll just have to come to Doe Daddy's and find out.
Okay. All right. What am I going to challenge you at? What's your game?
Well, so I really good at the punching bag game. So we'll see who can put up the higher number.
I can see that. I can see you. I want to challenge you one time to air hockey. Let's see what you got.
I'm pretty quick on the air hockey.
Okay.
I won't lie.
All right.
I won't be humble about that one.
That's fair. No, if I'm going to get beat, I want to get beat by the best.
Okay, perfect. Well,
yeah, exactly. And if I win, I want to beat the best. So I'm a win-win either way.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like you. Fun to fun, but we really know the score.
Exactly.
Emily Suter is with us. Always a delight to have you on. I'm sorry that I didn't get to see you yesterday because the Thundering Herd representative at the FCA was not Emily Suter. It was Devin Miller, which was great to see Devin, but I thought that you would be with him.
Rightfully so, but I was, given the Chamber of Commerce after their board meeting, we took a little tour. So Devin was where he needed to be. I was where I needed to be, but we like to be at everything. It's hard to be at everything, but we try to have a presence everywhere.
Emily Suter, our guest. Thanks for doing this again. Always a blast to talk to you and catch up with the herd, and we will see you soon.
All right. See you at Dough Daddy's at 2:30.
That is on Friday. Thundering Herd in action, taking on Arizona. The party begins. Get there before 2:30. If you don't get there before 2:30, you might not get a seat. So that's probably the best advice. Thanks, Emily. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. Thanks, Paul.
More coming up on your edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
The Summer Fun Passport is here. Sign up now for this free passport and earn prizes all summer long. Head to the station's website or Facebook page. Click the Summer Fun Passport link and register. That enters you to win a 3-night trip to Myrtle Beach. Amp up the fun by visiting our participating local businesses. Check in on the Summer Fun Passport and you'll earn points to win more prizes. Check in with these businesses when you arrive. Go-Mart, Jerk Riley's Billiards and Irish Pub, Smoothie King, Coon's Corner Sip and Shop, the Huntington Beverage Center, Roosters, Smokin' Jay's Reuben Brewhouse, Sod's Wine and Spirits. The Summer Fun Passport's brought to you by Tailgaters Carryout, Coon's Corner Sip and Shop, and Kindred Communications. Get on this station's website, sign up for your free passport, and win all summer long with the Summer Fun Passport.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
On the basketball court, the soccer pitch, or even the golf course, your crew brings their best not just for the win, but for that post-game celebration. When victory tastes like Michelob Ultra, it's worth every drop of sweat. And if you don't win, you'll still get the beer. It's just on you. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, 2.6 carbs, 95 calories. Superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Here's another Kindred Communications Community Chatter. The Huntington Regional Antique Automobile Club of America 25th Annual Cerrito, West Virginia Antique Auto Show. Going to be taking place June 13th at Cerrito Plaza. Registrations at 9 a.m. Fee $10 to participate.
This Kindred Communications Community Chatter brought to you by Roosters at Pullman Square, Huntington. Over 40 TVs, hot wings, cold beer, great daily specials. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Developmental Therapy Center's 25th Annual Valentine Celebration, Valentine in Full Bloom, is Saturday, May 30th at Willow Ridge Events. Enjoy dinner, open bar, silent auction, dessert dash, dancing, games, and the annual local celebrity lip sync battle. New this year, Rio Grande Football is storming the stage with a high-energy dance battle to kick off the lip sync battle. Join them for an unforgettable evening supporting DTC's life-changing therapy services for children and adults with disabilities. Get your tickets today at dtchuntington.org.
Well, Jason, I've got to tell you, you're pretty much everything this company is looking for in an entry-level candidate.
Great.
Your resume isn't quite what we're used to, but you've got a fantastic work ethic.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed by how you carry yourself.
So, should we talk about the job?
What? The job? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I have no way of recruiting or even meeting you. This interview didn't happen.
It may sound ridiculous, and that's because it kind of is. There's a huge pool of talent your company is missing out on. Meet the grads of life. Who are they? Talent worth knowing about. Young adults of unique determination and experience. An ideal fit for your company in an entry-level position, internship, or even mentorship. They might not have every qualification you typically look for, but they're exactly who your company needs.
Man, we really could have used him.
Don't miss out on a resource many innovative companies have already discovered. Go to gradsoflife.org to learn how to find, cultivate, and train this great pool of untapped talent. Brought to you by the Ad Council and gradsoflife.org.
I want to thank my mommy for loving me so much, for taking me out to the park, for reading me books, for taking
me to the doctor when I broke my foot in ballet rehearsal,
for leaving me alone when I wanted to be alone.
And now, as a grown-up, I'm thankful for being able to take care of you, my dear mom, for having the chance to take you to the park, for reading you those books we enjoy so much, for being able to take you to your therapies after you twisted your ankle, for understanding that sometimes you simply want to be alone.
Roles change without us noticing. And in your new role, we help you help. Visit aarp.org/caregiving to get practical health and wellness tips to provide even better care for your loved one. Remember, visit aarp.org/caregiving. AARP. We help you help. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
We continue. This is your Wednesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We're going to hear a little bit from softball in just a few minutes. I want to get to the text line. First up, texter says, Paul, and there's been a running, I don't want to call it a joke, but a very small movement to get me to Durham. Texter says, Paul, book your trip to Durham on Herd Hotels. Win-win. I'd do it. I will absolutely do it. But I don't see, it's not in the cards, but I appreciate the thoughts. But hey, you could book your trip on herdhotels.com. Texter says, Texter says, hey, Paul, do you ever see in the near future a European team in the NFL? I know that's where it's heading, but the logistics of it seem to be hard to overcome. I don't think we're going to see an NFL team out on its lonesome on an island without some careful thought. If there's going to be an expansion into a different country, I first would say I'd look at Mexico. I would look at Mexico as a potential expansion. Mexico City. I think that would be good. You could have an NFL team, Mexico City, and it wouldn't be too terrible logistically. I don't think it would be a bad idea to look there. I would also say that if any country is going to pick up an NFL team, the United Kingdom, probably London, would be the favorite in any conversation. Germany's possibility there. I don't know if you would need to have a cluster of franchises. Now, I don't think you can have a cluster of franchises in Mexico. I think you would start with Mexico City. In Europe, you have to probably start with London. You probably would need to look inside of Germany. Would Frankfurt be a possibility? Would Munich be a possibility? I think you're going to have to look and see if there is a strong enough desire to support a franchise, not, hey, bringing a established NFL team in as an event and you get a good draw, but on the regular, would it be viable? And then the other expansion country I would look at, and I know the Canadian Football League is prominent. It's not the dominant sport in the country. The National Hockey League, hockey is going to be the dominant sport, but there is a desire and a hunger for football. Would Canada be a viable market for a permanent NFL team? And where do you look? I think you're probably going to look at Vancouver. I think Vancouver would be very complementary to the West Coast teams. I think Toronto would be very complementary to teams on the East Coast. And honestly, it wouldn't hurt to have a little bit more of a global footprint. But I wouldn't look at it as we're going to put a franchise in far-flung portions of the map. I think we need to make this a little bit more reasonable. And again, the NFL tried years ago. You had the NFL Europe. You had the World League of American Football. You had several opportunities. I think slow and steady, it's eventually going to get to that point. But those would be some places that I would look at. We're going to get your text when we continue, and we're going to hear a little bit from a couple of softball players, Abby Darnley, and we're going to hear from Paige Maynard on this edition of Your Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a wreck? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Hometown Chevrolet has free oil changes for life.
That's right.
And it's Military Appreciation Month at your Hometown Chevy dealer in Waverly. We want to thank you, our veterans, for your service with an additional $1,000 rebate on most new Chevy models. And how about 0% financing and discounts up to $10,000 off the MSRP on selected new Chevrolet Silverado 1500s with guaranteed financing for all. What's holding you back from getting a great deal on a new or used Chevy truck? Plus free oil changes for life at Hometown Chevrolet. Visit yourhometownchevy.com to shop today.
At home or at work, in the car or at the gym, there's nothing more convenient than the fast service and the quality products brought to you by Tyler Mountain Water and Coffee. If you're always on the go with family, friends, co-workers, and business associates, give Tyler Mountain Water and Coffee a chance. They have everything that you need, from filtration coolers, coffee for your work, at-home delivery, and 8-ounce, 10-ounce, and half-liter bottles, or by the pallet. Tyler Mountain Water and Coffee, where great taste just comes naturally. Visit us at tylermountainwater.com.
Get ready to kick off summer at the YMCA Kennedy Center Family Fun Day. Join them Saturday, May 30th for a full day of free fun for the whole family. We're talking inflatables, the pool, games, and activities happening all day long, plus a movie night to wrap it all up. And don't miss your chance to win with raffles and door prizes. It's all happening at the YMCA Kennedy Center, just off Route 2, Ohio River Road, Huntington. Celebrate summer and bring the whole crew for Family Fun Day, May 30th, only at the YMCA Kennedy Center.
Hey everybody, Tony Caridi here.
And Brad Howe. Tony, why the platform shoes?
Well, Brad, it's called Committing to the Groove. We're bringing back the retro vibes with Gomart.
Then hand me those oversized sunglasses because it's time to strut into deals on fuel, snacks, and more at your favorite Gomart.
All year, watch for Vinyl Value Days, Road to Rewards, and some far-out contests.
So go for good times.
Go for good vibes.
And go to Gomart.
Grab the Gomart app to find a location near you. Stay groovy, baby.
Imagine the perfect chicken tender. Crispy, juicy, for lack of a better word, tendery. Now imagine these perfect tenders at Wendy's. 'Cause they are. Wendy's new chicken tenders are here with delicious new dipping sauces like Wendy's Signature, Creamy Ranch, and Honey Barbecue. And they're so good, we even changed our name from Wendy's to Tendies. I believe that's what the kids call manifesting. For Tendies you're gonna know by name, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's.
You're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Welcome back. It is your Wednesday edition of The Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We've got comments in just a moment from Abby Darnley and Paige Maynard, Marshall Softball on the road. If we don't get to them today, we're going to get to them tomorrow. There are a couple of things that came up while we've been on the air. The news came out not that long ago that starting with the 27-28 season in Division I men's soccer, it's going to be split between the fall and spring. The national tournament, it's going to start as well in the 27-28 in spring. So no more December soccer for the championship, right? It's going to be a little bit different. You're going to play and I think Coach Grassi has been looking for, hey, give us a little bit more spring, playing time. So this is from the Oversight Committee, and the legislation is going to have to be reviewed by the Division I cabinet. That'll come out in June. But teams are going to, according to the reports that I'm reading, teams are going to be able to play 18 matches from late August, until the Saturday before Thanksgiving, and then up to 10 matches from mid-February until the start of the NCAA tournament. So you get a little bit more in the spring. This is just for the men right now. It's not going to impact the women. And I think you're going to see healthier teams. You're going to have a little bit more flexibility as well. So, I'd love to follow this and see what it's going to look like. Obviously, once this kind of settles down and this is officially adopted, love to have Marshall soccer coach Chris Grassi on with us to talk more about that, what he thinks it's going to do for the sport, since he's been pretty keen on spring soccer. And, of course, the Thundering Herd has been pretty good in spring soccer as of late. Of course, as we mentioned, softball on the road should be arriving to Durham soon. And we're going to hear more from softball players all this week. I promised you Abby Darnley. And Abby, when she found out the Thundering Herd got in, she was pretty excited.
Yeah, I was so extremely excited. I was surprised too. I knew that we had a chance to get in, and seeing it up on the TV was so amazing. I couldn't believe it. It was honestly one of the best feelings. And being a senior, I didn't know if I had already played my last game, had my last at bat. So knowing that I have a couple more games at least to do what we need to do, I can't wait. It's amazing.
Yeah, that's a great feeling to know that, hey, I at least have a couple more goes at this. And similar expression from Paige Maynard when she was asked about getting in.
It was so exciting. Since we were a bubble team, we weren't really sure. And after Coastal, I was like, this being my last game, and I didn't want that to be my last game. So hearing our name, it was just so exciting that we get another chance. I get another chance to spend it with these awesome girls, and I'm just so excited to show what the Herd can do.
One thing that Paige talked about was the fact that you're going into this, it's sort of a reset. You get to start your season over, and the Herd is going to be playing pretty much stress-free at this point with nothing to lose.
I think acknowledging our past and the past couple of weeks, and we're going to practice super hard these next couple of days, and acknowledging what we need to work on, and then we're going to get better here. And then just going in, my main thing is just trying to go in there stress-free and just have so much fun, because when we have fun, that's when we do our best. And just going out there playing freely and just going out there and playing Herd softball. And when we're doing that, we're stress-free, we're having fun, and we're just leaning on each other.
So Thundering Herd looking to go out and have some fun, but of course this is still a business trip, and the intention is to play, have fun, win some games. And we'll hear more from Paige, we'll hear more from Abby, and we'll hear more from the rest of the team tomorrow as we get that much closer to the Thundering Herd in Durham for its first matchup in the NCAA tournament, taking on Arizona. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Coming up later, and just a few short minutes, actually, we've got the Pittsburgh Pirates in action taking on the Rockies. 6:15 is going to be our air time, and then tomorrow we'll go on the air in the afternoon. So Pirates baseball coming up next right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.